Well, hi YouTubers. Okay, I'm back with the 365 100 books, and it's The Memory Collector by Fiona Harper. This is an advanced copy, by the way, so I can't give anything away, no spoilers, sorry. I follow Fiona on Twitter. She actually follows me, and I've loved the books for a while. Not going to be because of any bias here. I generally do love her books. I read the first two as part of the early part of 365 100. Make My Wish Come True and Kiss Me Under the Mistletoe. And oh, I've got this lovely, lovely little note from Emily Kitchen. Okay, this little sweet, you know. Judy, I hope you enjoy this. Best wishes, Emily. I did, by the way. So, I really, really enjoyed this book. I actually love Fiona's books. It's amazing how, I'll be truly honest, when I started reviewing the first one, it hit me with Mills and Boon. And I was like, God, Mills and Boon upped their game so much with these books. Mills and Boon books have a formula, a type. However, as I was reading both these books, I kind of see Fiona kind of rebelling against the formula. It's sort of which, you know, a couple's going to get together, but what if they're not at the right time in their lives to get together? What if they actually generally need to work on themselves? And yeah, so, and she has a really nice touch of the gothic too. Okay, so I was thrilled that she was picked up for HarperCollins because she is vastly talented. And comparing those books, Mills and Boon books to this book, it's kind of like an explosion, if you will, a kind of explosion of her mind. Now she's no longer with the formula. She is free to do what she wants, and she's become such a stronger author. So the one who rebelled against types can now expand her horizons, if you will. Sorry, there you go. Let me read the blurb. Heather Lucas lives her life through other people's memories. Heather doesn't want to remember her childhood, not when her mother's extreme hoarding cast her family life into disarray. For Heather's mother, every possession was intimately connected to a memory. So when Heather uncovers a secret about her past that could reveal why her mother let anything go, she knows there's only one place she'll find answers: behind the locked door of her spare room, where the remains of her mother's hoard lie hidden. As Heather uncovers both objects and memories, will the truth set her free? Or will she discover she's more like her mother than she ever thought possible? I know. So, as I said, Fiona was rebelling against Mills and Boon's formula. Her character, Heather, is rebelling against her own past. Now, please put it down. Heather grew up with a hoarder for a mother. Now, for those who watch those shows, Hoarders, okay, you've seen stacks and stacks and stacks of books or objects or things you don't throw away. It is a mental illness, and I'm going to fully confess here right now, okay? I also have a problem with books, with hoarding. The reason I started the 365 100 books is because I went through my to-read pile, books I bought to read, and it was about 150 books. Yeah, I love books. Every single space in this area is just books. Yeah, and that's why I started it, and it is so liberating. Recently, I went through all my old DVDs, and if I haven't watched this film in 3 years, I got rid, and it's so liberating. Little notes I made to get them on Blu-ray, but yeah, it was so liberating doing this. So just gone. So the charity shop was happy. But I understand the world that the mother is coming from, but at the same time, the way she writes, the absolute way this has impacted and infected her life. There you go. There you go. This is chapter 11, and Harold's just channel hopping. It's one of those awful programs about compulsive hoarders, not the jaunty pretenders comedy kind when they make neat freaks go and clean their houses, but the kind that interviews people, sending crews of trained professionals to help. Usually Heather doesn't venture this far up the channel list, precisely because she doesn't want to see this type of thing. But until a moment ago, she was caught in a trance of button pushing, rhythmically pressing to soothe herself, instead of tapping in the numbers of her favourite movie channel, and jumping straight over this section of programming. She makes herself put down the remote and crosses her arm to stop her picking it up again. You deserve to watch this, she tells herself, because this is what you came from. It is who you are. The episode features a man whose car obsession has raged out of control. His whole 2-acre property is filled with rusting wrecks, some of them so far gone they're not even recognisable as vehicles. Yet he still refuses to let TV helpers cart them away, just in case some part in the depths of their bellies might be useful to him someday. That kind of thing. So, due to her mother's hoarding behaviour. Heather lives a minimalist life. She lives in a flat which is minimalist, apart from all her mother's stuff. Well, some of it that was stashed into her spare room and locked. The door was locked. She lives a minimalist life. She has no friends to start with. Due to circumstances beyond her control, due to basically her mother's mental illness, people can't get close to her, including her own sister, Faith. Now this, I'm going to get to Faith, okay? And one thing I've always liked about Fiona, is that the dynamic between sisters, she writes this very, very well, okay? There you go. Heather nods and smiles back. She likes Matthew, her brother-in-law. He always treats her as if she's just another one in the family. Normal, in other words. Lots of people would shrug off that label, thinking it boring, but Heather would love to embrace it. For a couple of hours a month, Matthew makes it seem as if that might be possible. Then Heather thinks of the chest of drawers in her spare room, the one containing all her dirty secrets in pastel colours, and she starts to doubt herself again. She doesn't let Faith or Matthew see it, though. She keeps smiling, she says the right greetings, and asks after the children, whom she can hear stampeding in another part of the house. They're the only reason she keeps this monthly duty date with her sister. She can feel her heart thunder in anticipation of seeing them again. So, a relationship with her sister is like a sister reaching out to her, okay, inviting her for dinner each month, trying to get close to her. But Faith, Faith has faith in Heather, but Heather, she's pushing back. She doesn't want Faith to get close to her. There's this, I can't spoil it, but there's this dynamic, and Heather's keeping so many secrets to herself. She is projecting this aura of I'm okay, and yet down she's not. One thing I absolutely love is, I don't want to talk too much about Heather, but Heather is also suffering from a mental illness. But that's all I'm going to say. But Fiona Harper writes this so well. She writes this incredibly well. Also, this is also a love story, and it involves Jason. Now, Jason is her neighbour, and they have a very sweet dynamic. Jason also has got a bit of his own troubled past, and it's interesting because, as going on to a previous Fiona Harper book I read, people will get together, but once again they're not the right time to get together. They need to work on themselves, and one thing it explores that quite well. I can't spoil, as the problem is with you, I can't spoil anything, how much I enjoyed it. But one thing shows is this book goes back in time within the dynamic between the mothers hoarding, and there's bits and elements that you can see her make up what exactly happened throughout Heather's childhood. It's also kind of a loose dynamic. It's like, flashing back to different chapters, Heather is a different age, as is Faith, and how this hoarding impacted on the family. This is chapter 9, and this is Faith talking. Mummy, can I have Mega Man for tea? Sorry, this is Faith. Sorry, this is Heather, not Faith. Heather. Mummy, can I have Mega Man for tea? Heather's mother looks up from where she's digging in a pile of clothes. She's trying to find Heather's PE kit. Heather brought it home to be washed before the Easter holidays, but she's been back at school for 3 weeks now and nobody can find it. Miss Perrin has said she's very sorry, but she's going to have to give Heather a red mark on her behavioural chart. She doesn't have it for her next lesson. Heather doesn't really want to get a red mark. She hasn't had one yet, she tries super extra hard to be good at school. What? Her mother says. Can Megan come for tea one day? Heather hops from foot to foot because she's really excited about the idea. I've been round to hers loads. Mother signs and looks around the living room. I don't think so, darling, so maybe when I get the house straight. Heather crosses her arms. It's not fair. Megan says that proper best friends go around each other's houses, and Katie Matthews asks her to tea nearly every week. If we don't let her come here, she might end up being Katie's friends instead, and I'll be left out. Heather, just go and find something to do. I'm trying to find your PE kit, and you know you'll be upset if I don't. So you need to let me do this now, and we'll talk about it later, understood? So, just these little bits. This is how the house has fallen apart, things are broken. Heather and Faith, especially Faith because she's 3 years older, have kind of taken on the dynamic of being the mum. You have Faith cooking the dinner. You have the mother freaking out because even though the ketchup has gone off and it's mouldy, the mother won't throw it away, so they use sachets that they get in restaurants. And then the mum freaks out that they've used this because they were being saved for later, later is now. And now it's time to get a harvester. it's that kind of thing. This compulsive hoarding. So nothing's done through the mother's dynamic, but you kind of get to see the world through Heather's eyes, because now I don't want to spoil this, but something did happen in Heather's past which did impact on her family and herself, but she doesn't realise it because she doesn't actually remember it. This is more about tapping into her memories and finding out who she really is. As she spent all this time keeping people away, she has no true identity. She doesn't know who she is, and she's struggling with each of her own past that she can't talk about. She's basically she lives her life in fear. So, not spoiler territory, but there is a literary connection to another one of Fiona's books, which I've read, which made me smile. Okay, no spoilers, but there's bits towards the end that I was just smiling at, which I was very pleased to see. And this book comes out, I believe, on the 8th. I really, really do recommend it. It is just a tour de force of a novel. It is eloquently written. You get to understand the dynamics between Heather and Faith and Jason. You get to understand the world of the hoarder, if you will. This book is seriously well researched as well. So, and I absolutely loved it. So, to Emily Kitchen for sending me this book, thank you. To Fiona Harper for writing it, thank you so much. It's lovely to see your progression as an author. I absolutely loved it. So, sign off here, YouTube. It's 100 books, and bye now. But when this book comes out on the 8th, you are going to love it. Bye now.